There was a breaking news on Saturday. A whole lot of people thought the season will start, next season will start with Arne Slot. Unfortunately, the hierarchy at Liverpool felt that Arne Slot is not the guy to take them forward. And a little bit of shocker, um, when they wanted to sign Isaac, Osimhen was on the table, and a slot kicked against signing of Osimhen. And for 100 million, they went for Isaac, paid the 125 million, and that has not worked out yet. A lot of people might say because of injury and the rest of that. But part of the feelers that came in when he was sacked was one of the reasons why he was sacked was because of the decision of Osimhen, because of going against the what the club wanted in terms of bringing in Osimhen. Um, there is also reports that Daniel Raiola is already in talks with them and is subject to become the new coach of Liverpool if personal times are agreed to. Um, Temilua, when you heard this news, what do you make of and it's not departing? This was a coach that won the EPL last season. Yes, he had a terrible season. And do you think the sack was justified?
I think it was delayed. You understand? But delay, not denial. So I think they delayed it till the end of the season. He ought to have left like since like January. You understand? So I think they were just trying to cover his shame and help his profile in the sense that this CV, so that it will not be that he was sacked middle of season. Yes, and he's supposed to have been gone long ago. I don't know what's wrong with the Liverpool board. I don't know. I don't know why you got an Issa and Ekitike for 80 something million, and then you still went ahead to get an Isak for 100 and something million. You can't have two nines in a team like that. It is first of all, it is even an headache for Slot. You understand that decision to get two nines is an headache for Slot. Now he has to fit in those two nines. Now bringing in Florian Witt also of 100 and something. So I think it was just a recipe for chaos for Slot as well. And considering the fact that he's not as tactically sound as expected, so the team choked him up. I think they should have gone for Osimhen, to be honest with you, instead of going for Isak. But I understand the fact that they look at Isak as Premier League proven. You understand? I think a season before he moved in, he was the second highest goal scorer in the Premier League. So that alone was enough morale, you understand, to back up the reason why they went for him. But I think Anislot is long overdue. The sack was long overdue. I was even expecting them to sack him earlier and get Xabi Alonso, but I don't know. They know better. So getting Iraola, I don't know. This will be his first big job. You understand? It's easier to manage these smaller teams and do well because the expectations are small. You understand? But coming to a big club like Liverpool, I don't know if he's going to light up the league, but he has played beautiful football in Bournemouth. Hopefully, he can transfer it to Liverpool. But Liverpool board has just been in shambles. I don't know what they are thinking of. I don't know how their recruitment strategy has been. You understand? But sacking of slots is long overdue. That's just what I'll just say. It's supposed to have been gone long ago. Get Xabi Alonso, a former player, in. You understand? And settle him, but they made the decision even later than late. He's supposed to have been left since last season safe, but they spared him till January. Now, to the end of the season, yes, and they were undecided. They don't know if they should go on with him or they shouldn't go on with him because if you had sacked him earlier, you'd have gotten Xabi Alonso, a former player of the team. Yes, and instead of allowing Xabi go to Chelsea, but I think it is a justified decision because it was poor. You cannot, as a reigning champion, have the same squad and still finish fifth. It is appalling. It's a very bad thing. You understand? But I think they're heading in the good direction now. You understand? With him out of the picture, and hopefully the next manager comes in and does well.
Okay, Collins. So the thing is this: Iraola, you know, his season was neither here nor there. Yes, he got Bournemouth into Europe, but the results were appalling. He had about 17, 18 draws last season, and lost a couple of games and won a couple of games. He's a specialist in draw. Do you think Iraola will be a perfect fit for a Liverpool side? Also remember, um, Raiola has not won anything tangible in England, and it's not, his first season came in, won the league. Do you think is the right move to employ a coach that barely got Bournemouth into Europe?
Mr. Mayo, I think you are You are underselling what Iraola did at Bournemouth.
Hmm.
You are underselling it because I don't understand. Barely, we Bournemouth.
18 draws. 18,
This
18
this
draws in the
same
season. 18
this
draws. You play 38 games
this
and you're
same
drawing
Bournemouth
18.
almost escaped. They almost escaped relegation last 2 seasons before Iraola came.
Hmm.
They almost escaped relegation, but now they are in the Europa League. Should I remind you what he did at Mirandes? Atrayo Balesano. He took over Atrayo Balesano in the Spanish Division 2, and he took them to promotion. And they look at how well Balesano. I remember when he took over the job, and Balesano were disturbing things. I checked the manager, and it was Iraola. You understand? He made them what they are today. Maybe they are nowhere, but I didn't know Rayo Balesano before. You understand? I'm even going too far with Rayo Balesano. Mirandes. You understand? It took Mirandes to the semi-final of the Copa del Rey, and that was the Segunda division. For Segunda division is below La Liga 2. So you can see how crazy this is. You understand? But I'm not going to go into Iraola's resume right now. I want to talk about Anslot. You understand? Mr. Temioluwa mentioned something that is very, very correct. You understand? Anslot. You understand? I'm honestly, when I was like, this guy won the league with you, and you're having problems with him the next season. You understand? And I now calm down and understood something. You understand? Liverpool spent 446 million euros. You understand? Signing the likes of Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, what's the name of that? Was it Kekes?
Kekes,
Kakas? Kekes.
Isaac,
What's
Kekes,
yeah?
Milos Kekes,
Sorry, I don't have to pronounce his name.
Ekitike, Ekitike.
Yeah, yeah,
Ekitike.
exactly. So Ekiti, honestly, I think Ekiti tried. So Ekiti got 17 goals before that is his ACL tour. So Ekiti is not really bad like that. But the rest have been below par. The rest have been below par, and you cannot. I think apart from the fact that Ancelot's tactics can be really shitty sometimes, I feel like Ancelot is a very poor man manager. He is a very poor player manager because you cannot sign these players and not do anything with them. You cannot sign. Look at what Gordon Klopp did with the set of players he had at Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Virgil van Dijk, Jose Gomez, Jordan Henderson. You understand? These players are average. See, I'm going to beat my chest and say these players are average. If you take them away from club system, watch what they will do. Take They took
Hmm.
Arnold away from Pep system,
Hmm.
put him in Real Madrid. They, every team have just been taking turns to do anyhow with him. You understand? These players are not all that, but because Klopp is a very, very fantastic player manager, that's what he made them who they are. You understand? He made them formidable. You understand? He made them great. You understand? And Slot is not that. You understand? I feel like there are many factors to consider into this and slot sacking. The board considered a lot of things. They didn't just consider the fact that they finished fifth. If they are considering the fact that they finished fifth, I think it's still going to be at the club because Liverpool is not a club that just sack managers like Chelsea. After one season, you don't do well, they sack you. Liverpool are long term. You understand? So if they are considering the fact that this guy just finished fifth, that's not a valid reason to sack him. I'm saying it. These are the valid. This guy have lost the locker room. You understand? If you are having heated arguments with Salah, if you're having problems with Salah, that is one of the focal points of the team. You understand? That's a recipe for disaster because you cannot tell me a player like Salah does he have his own faction, does he have his own cult in that dressing room. There are players that worship Salah in that dressing room. There are players that worship Salah in that room. Salah is not an ordinary player like Saka that can. Salah is an impressive player. You understand? This guy will have his own is youngsters that look up to him. So when he had that why he had that problem with slots, you understand? I'm pretty sure there's a faction of players, maybe a small faction, that agreed with him. You understand? That are not in the same line with whatever Anslot was doing. You understand? And that's a recipe for disaster. You cannot have that kind of problem and still give this guy a job. You understand? If you are going to be a coach, you are going to be a coach on the pitch and off the pitch, right? You have to stabilize the dressing. You have to make sure that there's no murmurs whenever you
Hmm.
are talking, whenever you are discussing, whenever you guys are doing film session, there's no murmurs. You are discussing tactics, they are more more now. You understand? You have to make sure that everybody's in line. In our local league, you understand? Coach go dey talk. You know if you talk because that's discipline. You understand? You guys are saying the same thing. You understand? If that's not the case at Liverpool, I think the sack is very much valid. So I didn't think I don't think they didn't just consider the tactics. You understand? They didn't just consider the on pitch performance. They considered off pitch performance. They consider the way he managed the players. You understand? This guy spent 146 million euros. I didn't do anything with these players. But look at the caliber of players he bought. I couldn't do anything. You understand? And he got Iraola, which I think that's the best news. That's way. In he couldn't just get better. You understand? Because getting Iraola was I'm a big fan of that guy. You understand? I'm a big fan of that guy. As a manager, if you keep getting praises like you play attacking football, I think you're in the right direction. As a young manager, and people praise you for your attacking football, you understand? For entertaining football, I think you're in the right direction. But as a young manager, what people are knowing you for is haram football. What people are knowing you for is terrorism. You're in the wrong direction. I don't need to mention examples. You're in the wrong direction. As a young manager, people should know you for your entertainment. People should know you that your the kind of football you play is brilliant. You understand? And that's what I know Iraola. I've known Iraola since the days at Mirandes. So I can say that I've been a big fan of this guy. So I'm sorry. I take offense when you tell me that this guy barely takes he took Bournemouth to the Europa League.
Hmm.
We have our eyes. I saw what this guy did. I saw what he did to Manchester City. I saw what he did to Arsenal. Mr. Solomon, did you see what he did to your team? Right. So this guy is brilliant. You understand? Maybe you can tell me he has not managed the big club before. But I'm telling you, after managing Mirandes, after managing AEK Lanaka at Cyprus, and after managing Rayo Vallecano, I'm telling you that Bournemouth is a big club for him. And he dealt with that challenge very well. You
Okay.
understand? Liverpool are not all that right now. So he's going to do well.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. So Solomon, before we move to the Arsenal game, um, what do you make of Liverpool firing and slot and going for Andoni Raiola? I mean, yes, he got Bournemouth to the Europa League. However, if you are a coach that you are going to a club with a winning mentality and your season in the EPL, you have 18 draws. Does that speak to what Liverpool is looking for?
Let me quickly give a rebuttal. I'm sorry, but I just have to. Which attacking football did you know Mourinho for when you won the Champions League with Inter? When people talk about these things, it's surprising. It's just shocking to me. You will just be saying things because it's Arsenal. You will just, anyways. It's not time for Arsenal. Let's move on. Now, talking about Andoni Iraola, he fits Liverpool style of play. Yes, he got 18 draws, and left to me, I was actually really shocked because and thank you for actually bringing up that statistics because Bournemouth were, they were unbeaten for the second half of the season. They were unbeaten for the second half of the
True,
season.
true.
They played, if I'm not mistaken, I think 9 draws and 9 wins in that, in that run of 18 matches. I think they had about 9 draws and 9 wins in that 18 match run. And I only think that Iraola fits into Liverpool style of play because Liverpool fans are not used to, they are used to the fast-paced style of football. There's Firmino, Salah, Mane, Henderson, Fabinho, players who are quick with the ball, and they just want as much as possible to go all out with the style of play. And they did not see that with Arne Slot, right? They didn't see that as well. So again, I think I quite agree with what's it called with Collins when he said that it is not just about the on pitch decisions, it is the off the pitch decisions, right? I don't think he was able to manage the situations of the pitch very well. A huge part of Liverpool's season was the talks surrounding Salah. How can that be the focal point of a team for most of the season? The first time I think it was about his salary or something. Then the second time was about him and slot. So, all those things are distracting, whether we like it or not. You are the defending champion. You are supposed to focus on defending your title and getting into the Champions League easily, right? But look at the way they qualified for the Champions League. So, again, Iraola is a fine coach. He has done so well at Bournemouth. He did so well with Rayo Vallecano as well. I mean, Rayo Vallecano just played the Conference League final, right? I'm sure that he was part of the coaches that led them to that type of that type of stature, right? So he fits properly into Liverpool's system, and it is not surprising at all that they sacked Arne Slot, right? Although again, another thing is I was actually thinking that they would have left Arne Slot because, as Mr. Temi said, he was delayed. If you did not sack him early on to bring on Xabi Alonso, why did you sack him now? Right? Because to me, I feel like he did well in his first season. Yes, he won the EPL. In the second season, he lost a player in Diogo Jota. He lost a player in Diogo Jota. He lost Luis Diaz. He lost Trent Alexander-Arnold. Nobody has been able to replicate what Luis Diaz has done. At some point, Soboslai is playing right back. Curtis Jones is playing right back. Who has replaced Alexander Arnold? Nobody. The Frimpong that they brought in is the one that is going to play Salah's role. So I just think that I cannot say hopefully that they get it well next season, so they don't come and disturb me because me I want to win the Premier League again next season. So whatever they want to do, hopefully they can move forward as a team, but don't move forward to come and disturb my own team. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's get into the big one.